Olá pessoal, tudo beleza? Quem fala é Rafael, bem-vindo a mais um episódio de... Qual que é o meu nome? Borderlands 2, isso mesmo, cara. Do DLC The Horrible Hungers, Harvey Claus, alguma coisa assim. Hoje vamos pegar a missão Grandma Flexinton History Raid Difficult. Story Raid. Ah, beleza, eu perdi também, né? O negócio não falar. Tem a história. Caramba, velho, se for contar da carochinha de novo. Ai, droga, é outra história. Mas tudo bem, vamos começar.
She was robbing my retirement home with a few other brigands, and I recognized her for her wanted poster, and I said, "Oh hey, you fought the Vault Hunter, didn't you?" And she bowed all elegantly and said something like, "Indeed I did that," and said that you were really good at fighting, and that you beat her fair and square. She didn't seem to harbor much of a grudge about it. Nice girl. You should think about meeting up with her again if you're not shacked up with anybody, you know. I mean, of course, you probably are. Gorgeous hunk of a Vault Hunter like you. I bet you're beating away suitors left and right. Look, you're blushing. Oh, I could just eat you up. Mr. Torg was so scared of trying to get a date for such a long time. He used to go to parties in high school and just stand in the back without talking to anybody. I am an introvert!
Mas que você fez?
I tried to tell him, I said, don't worry about chasing love. If you chase your dreams, then love will follow. See, that's the thing people don't get. You watch Echo films and they're just awful. They teach you that the only way to be with someone is just to pursue them over and over until they decide they
não fala daquele filme não, é muito ruim, cara. Quase chorei de sangue só por ter visto aquele filme.
But if you do things that you're interested in, like making guns that explode or killing mercenaries, then people will see that confidence and skill you have and they'll be attracted to it. There's always a fine line between
Eu tentei construir uma arma uma vez, mas não deu certo.
There's nothing worse than somebody who wants to be
Acabei explodindo uma cidade inteira, nossa.
Isso
foi muito ruim.
He was pretty egocentric for a while, taking pictures of himself and posting them to the Echonet all the time, trying to hobnob with every celebrity that used his weapons. He came back home one day with a supermodel under each arm, and I said, "Mr. Torg, what are you doing? You've lost sight of who you are. It's been weeks since you actually created a new gun," I said. And it was true. He'd been more obsessed with being well known for doing something great than with actually doing something great.
It was a dark point in my life.
Thankfully, High Five listened to me and got to work on what would eventually become the Kerblaster. You a fan of the Kerblaster? That was always my favorite. That and the Flacker, which I know a lot of people hate. But there's more to combat than just brute efficiency in this old lady's eyes. Style counts for something. And there's nothing quite like filling the air with tiny little explosions. It's like a fireworks show, except the deaths aren't as sad and unexpected. Actually, that reminds me, now that you're here, I wanted to throw some ideas at you for feedback. I'm a playwright in my spare time, and I'm trying to write a story about an up-and-coming tournament fighter who tries to find love in a gladiatorial arena. And I figure you've got a lot of experience, so your feedback would really be valuable. So the play is called Broken Hearts and Broken Necks. Scene 1. Faded on an arena, just after a battle. Body parts litter the stage. A lone warrior stands in the middle of the stage. A spotlight illuminating her blood-stained arm. She's holding her sword triumphantly aloft. Balcony. Is there no warrior who can challenge me? Must I be destined to spend my life as the strongest, the bravest, the most invincible warrior this galaxy has seen? For I am Valkyrie, scourge of the gladiatorial games! From stage left, a janitor with a heavy heart and an even heavier conscience. He begins sweeping the body part into a mirror, which is colored green, and the fingers that smoke until melancholy overtakes falls to his knees before delivering a heart-wrenching soliloquy. Blood cannot be washed away. Not before and not now. Even as I attempt to escape the past which haunts me still. Must I live forever as a fraud, sweeping up the trash of others to hide my shame and avoid my pursuers? Must I forever remain on the periphery of joyful combat?
Nossa, que história bem fascinante, hein, essa da Valkyria. Oh. Conta mais, vovó, o que aconteceu? O que aconteceu mais?
I heard a noise and thought it worth investigating. Over it was nothing but wails of souls you released from their bodies tonight. Souls that wail in agony as they fly upward. Fools! What have they to wail about? Their agonies are over, ended at the point of my sword. Mine, however, have only yet begun, for it is lonely at the top, and an unchallenged life is born. No doubt. If only I were able to tell her the true identity, I would give her a light she would not soon forget. Better. Yes, ma'am, boredom is the true tragedy. May you one day find challenge in combat. Stupid, no one picks up a giant two-armed bastard sword with almost no weight. That could be easy. What is this? Next one. Stage 3. That could be. What strength this janitor possessed? Who is he to pick up a bastard sword with 2 fingers? What hidden power does he hold? What secrets does he keep? I will endeavor to uncover his past, in the hope that our swords may cross in battle!
Ok.
Scene 2. The interior of the governor's house. The table is set near
Chá da tarde, né? Uma festa de chás.
Oh, wonderful, I'll continue. Scene 2. The governess enters from stage 1. Governess. I refuse to respond to these absurd accusations. Husband looks at her quizzically. Governor. And what accusations may those be? Governess. Actually, you know what? I don't think I'm ready to get feedback on the play yet. But what about you? What are you up to? Tell Grandma Flexington all about it. I bet you've had some amazing adventures. Mr. Tord told me about the time you all played bunkers and badasses together. He said it was one of the most fun and welcoming experiences of his life.
Grandpa! You're embarrassing me!
Ah, cala a boca, Mr. Tom. Deixa eu falar as coisas que ela
but
tá
really, you and the
falando.
Balltunders are his first real pals. It wasn't easy for Mr. Tord to make friends at school when he had facial hair at age 8, pecs at 8.5, and dead parents by age 9. People found him intimidating, but I told him that he should be thankful for the fact that he looks different. Anyone who wouldn't be friends with you based on appearance wouldn't be a very good friend anyway. But he really does like hanging out with all of you. Most people these days want Tord to pose for pictures or blow something up by flexing at it. It's not often he gets to sit down and play games with people. Oh, speaking of games, did you play Going Back to the House yet? It's a new echo simulation about exploring a log cabin you lived in when you were a kid. There's no violence or anything. You just walk around looking at cereal boxes and remembering people you made out with. I really like where Echo Sims have gone in the past few
Oh,
years,
é um
don't
jogo
you?
muito da hora
There
esse
seems to be a
Echo
lot more of them with
Simulator,
interesting
cara.
things to do beyond shooting people. And the writing has gotten
Me lembro
so
desse Sims, eu
tight
acho.
sometimes. For instance, did you ever play The Samurai's Marker? The whole game's story was delivered through haiku. Did Zero write it or something? No, I'm just joshing. I know you're too busy for that. But oh yeah, I was playing at the end of the pointed gun last night on my Echo Sim player.
Echo Sim Play. Oh,
It's about a guy who punches people and smacks himself in the face with doors. Easily one of the best punch-related comedy sims ever. But oh, I'm really looking forward to this game called Robot Hunter
Robot Hunter
Assault
Assault
Squadron,
Squadron,
which is
which-
this big randomized
okay.
survival game about throwing bottles at trees and
Isso é um dos
accidentally
melhores
scaring
jogos
birds.
que
In the
aqui,
demo
hein?
version, I scared a bird so hard it died. 10 out of 10 in my book. But what kind of things do you do for fun? You play any sports? Look like you might be into some of the more extreme stuff, like spine hurdling or psycho head volleyball. I knew an athlete a lot like you when I was younger. Her name was Nijo, and she was especially gifted at the giblet toss. That's an old pastime we had back when I was younger. Idea was you punch a convict, and then see how far you could make their viscera fly across a big field. You got points based on distance and the size of viscera. She won the final round of the giblet toss championship by getting a left eyeball to cross the 300-meter mark. They said she was juicing with iridium, but I think they were just angry that she dethroned the reigning champ, misogynistic Jim. You really liked him for some reason. Hey, what's your favorite food? Mine's burgers, personally. People look at you like you're a pleb or something when you say you like burgers, but just think of all the things you can do with them. You can change out the patty, play around with the toppings, change what sides you have. You ever have a burger with veggie chips? Gosh, I all but forgot about fries for about a year after I discovered the veggie chip combo. And I'm not a vegetarian or anything, but those veggie patties they make on the more upper class worlds are crazy good. Better than real meat if you cook it right. Mr. Torg tried to be vegetarian once after he saw a fluff bear get run over by a truck. How long did you last again?
12 seconds!
Barely even finished the word vegetarian before he lunged at a skag chew I was holding in my left hand. Nearly lost a finger. Granted, he's always been partial to skag chews and skag bacon. Don't know why, since I always felt like skags tasted like old tires and vomit. But to each his own. Taste is a funny thing. People say your taste buds get more refined as time goes on, but they actually get worse and worse. So when Mr. Torg used to refuse vegetables as a kid, it's because he was actually tasting how awful they were. When we old folks eat vegetables, we're only okay with it because we can't taste all the gross vitamins and stuff. Granted, vitamins are what have kept me going for as long as I've been going. You get enough B12 in your system and you can head for a freight train without
comer vegetais é muito
That
bom,
reminds me,
entendeu?
I need to get my bills ready for the rest of the week. I have one of those little metal containers split into different sections for each day. It's really helpful. And the sides are sharp enough that I can use it to ward off burglars if I need to. What else do I have to do this week? Probably head to the bazaar, pick up some frozen spider and flanks. Gotta bring my coat though.
Aquele churrasquinho de Spider-Ants é tão gostoso. O que será que aconteceu naquela churrasqueira?
Candy drops. Gosh, those are delicious. They're so smooth and sweet. Just thinking about them, I could go for one right now, couldn't you? Do you think you could go find me one?
O que será que tá pra... Ah, finalmente vamos à caça de docinhos. Atrás do doce. Doce. Finalmente agora vamos caçar doces. Cadê? Por aqui? Ah, tô tirando da gente, cara. Que chato. Deixa eu ver, acho que sobe por aqui. Vem pra cá. Vira pra aqui. Pera aí. Preciso ver o mapa. Onde tá o mapa? Ah, então é por aqui mesmo. Oba, vamos pegar. Ah, tá aqui. Tá bom. Ah, não tá funcionando. Que droga. Ah, achei que ia funcionar, cara. Eles me enganaram. Ah, já sei. Ah! Que susto! O que era aquilo mesmo? Era a câmera, né? Pô, câmerazinha, você me assustou, hein? Ah, esse aqui é muito melhor. Esse local. Ah, vamos ver para onde devo ir. Será que o Philip está legal? Ou será que ele está na praia de novo? Ah, aquele robozinho molenga fica sempre... Ah, socorro! Preciso correr, preciso correr. Entro aqui por cima, vejo o que tem por aqui. Ah, achei o local. Uhul. Deve estar aqui dentro, né? Yes! Não, tem alguma coisa legal aqui. Ah, uma arma legal, arma nova. Hehe. Opa, deve ser aqui? Ah, não! O que você está fazendo? Não, eu tô com... Ah, errada. Ah, socorro! Phillips, me ajuda! Sai de férias, sai. Ai. Ai, maldito. Tá me jogando fogo, maldito. Ah, queimado. Oh, alguma coisa caiu aqui. Iridium, legal. Eita, tô apanhando de novo. Ah! Chegou outro, tá jogando fogo aqui. Toma. Sai daqui, sai do caminho. Finalmente algumas ações aqui, né? Vem cá. Tinder. Torturador, né? Bastardos. Eu não vou pegar meu docinho não. Oba, docinho! Peguei.
Oh, wonderful! Bring it back here and I'll finish my story.
Não se preocupe, vou fazer, já está faltando. O seu doceio, tá aqui, ó. Ele na minha mão. Ai. Malditas vespas ficam me atacando. Nossa, que história de delícias. Eita. E eu espero poder provar esse doce também, viu, vovozinha? Vamos dividi-lo em dois. Agora vamos voltar e escutar o final da história do que a voz assim estava contando, né? Eita, pulei. Estou voltei. Aqui. Toma aí,
Thank you so much! I'll eat this later while sitting by the fireplace telling Mr. Torg stories of days gone by. There's just nothing like a good roaring fireplace, is there? Something healing and safe. Maybe that's why our family likes explosions so much. They're basically just big fireplaces. Every explosion feels just like coming home. Oh, maybe that'd be a good slogan for the Torg Corporation. Don't you think? High five? Oh, don't be silly. It's a wonderful slogan and you know it. I used to come up with slogans for a living when I was in my teens. I came up with the jingle for Professor Gunsight's Can't Miss Scopes. How'd it go? Oh, yeah! If you try to shoot but you miss a lot, then give Professor Gunsight Scopes a shot. Ha! And then they played a gunshot sound effect and someone going, ah! It was cute. Gosh, I've been talking for a while now, haven't I? Thanks for bringing your friends to listen to an old woman ramble for a while. I can't tell you how great it is to have somebody new to talk to, especially a vault hunter. Oh, and one more thing. No, actually, that could probably be just something about vaults and the end of the universe. Anyway, here. I always spoil my friends, just like I spoiled my grandson.
Opa, legal. Ah, uma arma legal. Opa, obrigado, vozinha. Você é da hora, tá? Olha, aumentei de nível. Já terminamos aqui? Yay! Ou tem mais alguma coisa? Ah, esse foi o final então. Bem, então vamos pegar aqui, vamos ver o que eu ganhei. Uhul! Aqui, vou comentar aqui. Depois tem que aumentar tudo isso daqui, né? Também que. Bom, voltando aqui. Mas bem, pessoal, a gente vai ficando por aqui. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Se gostar, deixa o like, deixa seus favoritos. Se não é inscrito, se inscreva no canal. A gente se vê no próximo episódio. Até mais, valeu, falou, fui. Aloha! Tchau!